And here we are. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Beyond the Surface with Sharon. Come on in, tune in. We are on episode 6. We are doing Fatherhood. It takes a village today. Hey, Jess. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are on episode 6 Beyond the Surface with Sharon here on my podcast. The podcast is here to encourage, empower, enlighten, and inform. And I can say since episode 1, that I have an audience member. That is what has been happening. Like, people have been encouraged and empowered.
Yes.
We have given a lot of information, and people have really been enlightened with what's been going on with our topics between, counseling and therapy, and with Reverend Nikki in episode 1, which is amazing. I want you guys to start at episode 1 because it'll set the tone for watching the rest of the podcast episodes. So episode 1 is great. Start there. You can catch it on YouTube or Facebook. What else? We are, can you guys hit the share button for me? I appreciate that. Share button. Share alike. Can you hit the share button? I'm sorry.
YouTube.
Share. I really literally have a live audience. It's right here. It's talking to me. Y'all hear him? It's Mr. Colson. But thank you guys for tuning in. You're on Beyond the Surface podcast, episode 6. I'm so excited. Episode 6. So I didn't even know how far we would go, or we were going, or where the Lord would lead us. But we are here on episode 6. We have gotten a lot of positive feedback. So I would like you guys to tag in the comments a man that exemplifies fatherhood. I don't think you always have to be a father, a parent, birth a person to father people. So there are mentors without kids. So if you can tag in the comments someone who is a father that you respect, that has been in your life, or someone who is a parent and they exude fatherhood to you. So if you can go in the comments, let's tag those people, because I think it's really important to let people know if they are a positive person and they've been a positive influence in our life. Who would I tag as a positive influence? I mean, you know who I want to tag? I would like to tag within the last year. I would say I would like to tag Dr. George James. He'll probably, I don't know if he'll see this, but yes, Dr. George James. I have been watching him, and I went to a couple of his sessions that he has, and he is like an amazing father in real life and on social media. And he has given me like tools as an adult to kind of, have come into myself and learn more about myself and embrace life. So he's given me life tools. He's not my dad, but he is a dad and he is a parent. But you don't have to. So if you have someone that you would like to tag in the comments, we're going to ask you to go ahead and do that. You guys want to tune in. We want you to share our podcast. And since Father's Day is coming, we have some amazing men that are coming on the show. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell a Father's Day story. So my Father's Day story is, before we bring on the fathers, my Father's Day story is my dad, Junior Boyd, used to take me to, my dad used to take me to fishing. So when we went fishing, he would have like little bottles, those little bottles of water. So he would bring one each for each of us, me, Dee Dee, Junie, bottle of water. And then he would bring like a 24 pack of beer in a cooler. You stop in Courthouse, that little roundabout liquor store, Little Waters for us, 24 pack of beer for him. So we would go fishing and crabbing. And when we ran out of water, we got to drink beer. so that is, it's not a positive story. That is my Father's Day experience. That is actually one of my most memorable stories of my dad, is him giving us beer. We were kids. I know we was under 10. I might have been 10. So I cannot stand beer, the smell of it, the taste of it. I drink none of it. All congratulations to my dad. So yes, happy Father's Day. Let me see. If you guys want to tag your people, we ask that you share. And we are here for Father's Day episode. It takes a village. So first we want to bring it to the stage. We are going to bring our young father in. Jamar,
Hey. How you doing? How you
doing?
doing? All
I'm
right, all
good. How
right.
are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah. How's everything going over there with your household?
It's going good. One day at a time. All is well.
So
All
you
is
want to
well.
introduce yourself?
All right. Obviously, my name is Jamar Mack. Uh, got a family of 7. My wife, Kristen Mack. Just been on this journey of, because I'm really inspired by cousin Sharon, which she's my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched some of her episodes, and
Oh, thank
I
you.
just love the way that how they're just transparent. But and she actually
Thank you.
gave me uh confident to do something that I've been that I got in the making. So just wanted to share that. But just been on a journey of family matters. So I'm here.
I like that. Okay,
Okay.
so I see you with your Eagles. We repping green on. I'm repping my green for the Celtics and the Eagles. I see you with your Eagles hat on.
Yeah,
EAGL.
I didn't want to, bring it to the light, but I'm pretty sure people can see. So you know what I
Right,
mean.
right.
So you know, the Eagles definitely it is. Um,
Okay, so father of almost 6,
7.
seven,
Yes.
7. Okay, all right. So you're gonna have a lot to talk about tonight. You got a lot of experience, a lot of stories there.
A lot. Just don't ask about no birthdays, please, because I don't want to get put in the doghouse tonight,
All
please.
right. Well, it's a positive Father's Day episode, so I'm gonna do you right.
Uh,
All right. Next, coming to the stage, my guy, Josh.
Hey, sis.
Hi, Josh. Thanks for coming on.
You know it.
I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
yeah.
Oh, so Josh is Ron's good friend of how many years?
I don't know, man. We
The
were
audience,
we
the
were
audience is talking.
young teenagers.
Teenagers. So you guys have been around each other a
Yeah, yeah.
while. Okay, so you wanna introduce yourself, your family dynamic?
Okay. Well, I'm Josh Thompson Senior. Married to this beautiful lady named Diane. Of
Okay,
course. Yeah. You know that's the bright eyes.
let him
Um,
know.
yeah, we
He is
have.
married happily. All
Yes, we
right.
have. We have 5 beautiful children. Um, 3 girls, 2 boys, and then we have some added family. I have a few son-in-laws, but yeah,
Some grandkids,
got a few grandkids.
right?
Yeah, can't forget them. Yeah, so we got a crew. Partridge, it's better than the Partridge Family.
Yeah. You guys are a pretty full house over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So I appreciate you guys coming on this episode for fatherhood, because it's a lot of absentee fathers, and I wanted to bring a positive outlook to fathers who are present and who are doing an amazing job. So what would be some advice, Josh, that you would have for Like, say you would given Jamar some advice. What advice would you give Jamar for a young father in his 30s who has, a little house full and trying to make it work?
Well, the first thing I would say, to make it easier for yourself, is to emphasize your communication with your kids, of course, and with their mother. You guys need to be on the same page. And when I say communication, I mean, you don't want to be one of those parents where all you do, you just talk. You never listen to your kids. You need to give them a safe space for them to talk. Kind of like be quick to listen, you know what I mean, and slow to react.
I like that.
Because that right there will give them that, it will let them know that they're being heard also. I know a lot of people always use that scripture, children, you respect your parents and all that stuff like that your days be long. But it also tells us parents that we should not provoke our children to wrath.
Hello.
So that means,
y'all not read that one?
So that means as a parent, we have that ability to provoke our children to the point where they cut us off or they don't want to have anything to do with us.
Yes, I like that, Josh, because I think a lot of times even it is a do as I say, and it's a lot of tough I don't want to call it tough parenting, but it's a lot of parenting that is, you have to respect me because the Bible says, but then it's a lot of provoking from parents who don't give the kids a voice of communication.
And that starts young, because also as a parent, see, you knock out a lot of the stuff you can just nip it in the bud.
Right.
But as you and the mother of the child, one thing you have to have in common is that what kind of rules you're going to set up in your household. And you have to be consistent with that, even as they're little, because it'll be easier for you when they get older. You won't have to say as much. You won't have to do as much. You won't really have to really discipline that much because they already know what it is. But if you're up and down, they're kind of confused.
Yeah. And there, I seen that it says the 3 C's of parenting is, like you said, consistency, care, and communication. So Jamar, what do you think about that? Like, where is that on? Is there one that's more important of, what is it? Consistency, care, and communication with your parenting style?
I would say consistency. It's crazy that this is being mentioned, because I was thinking about it, and what I realized is that, like the Bible says, honor your mother and father, for your days will be long. When you learn how to respect your parents, you can implement that into your lifestyle and your home. Consistency, like I said, I definitely agree with that, because you don't want to teach the kids. You showing the kids one thing, and then the next thing, they following they're.
No, that's huge. I get what you're saying, man.
Yeah, I
get
it.
I mean?
I definitely agree with consistency, because, like I said, consistency is, kids definitely need to see that.
Especially when you're going to work and you're present, like the consistency of being present in the household is major, because you're a present person and you are giving them good advice, good information. You know what I mean? You're showing that you care. So all of that, I think, with the communication, like Josh says, it comes into like a threefold of being a good father at home.
Yeah, and the point that you made that I really didn't, it makes sense that you make, is that, you want your kids to be, respect you. But if they see you don't respect your parents,
right,
that's a no.
Right.
Yes,
that's how they learn. They were like, okay, well, you don't respect your mom, or you don't respect, or if you're over here disrespectful. On the other hand, can I don't want to play do the advocate,
go ahead.
But on the other hand, what if, because this is beyond the surface, what if you're, as a person, your parent or your father is the provoker?
Well, let me say something about that.
Go ahead.
if I can.
You can.
Um, so I have a huge family. I have 11 brothers. I had 11 brothers and sisters, 6 sisters, 5 brothers,
Sheesh.
all same mom, same dad. Um, my father, he wasn't always around for me.
Mm-hmm.
For us 4 youngest ones, 4 youngest ones, he really wasn't there. He was in and out.
Right.
But one thing I never did, I used to hear some of the older ones, I would hear certain people say certain things about him and this and that. I never did. I never, even though I felt some type of way sometimes, I never disrespected him. And there was a good reason why I did. And I'll say this real quick. One day, a little bit about my father. He was from the South. He was from Sylvester, Georgia.
Oh.
In the 30s, 20s. He was the oldest of his brothers and sisters. They made him stop going to school in 7th grade. So he had to go out and work farms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He never he was very athletic, but he never had a chance to play any sports. All he knew was work. He knew some church. He knew how to gamble. He knew how to drink. He knew some women.
Right.
So one day, I decided, because he liked Philly, he liked the Eagles, he liked the Sixers. So I took him to a Sixers game at the old Spectrum. And the whole time from the time we parked in the parking lot, he was just looking around, kept looking around. When we got inside the stadium, he was just looking around. He wasn't saying nothing. He was looking around. So I said, "Dad, are you okay?" And he just looked at me. He said, "Son, I didn't know. I did not know that." He said, "Look, I didn't know you can do this and relax. All I knew was this and that, whatever." And that struck something with me. So that's why it's important. Whatever your parents are doing, you still have to show them that type of respect.
Yeah.
You have to show them that honor, because it will come back to you. That's
and especially with older, I always have a little soft spot for people who are in their 70s and 80s and 90s, because the fact that these black men had to come through and, like you said, Josh, stop going to school at 7th grade or earlier, go work for the family, and they didn't get the opportunity for education. And a lot of things, if you're working at 7th grade, your brain isn't functioning. Like, you didn't get to grow up to be an adult. So me and Ron were talking about this, like, you don't know what you don't know. Like, a lot of times you don't know how to parent because you didn't get to parent, or your parent was,
and that's not making an excuse for him, because I still believe in all of that. There still was things he could have did better. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's something he has to deal with. I know that for me, it was important for me to even honor and try to take care of. And if I felt like I could not do that, then I would make sure I would definitely not disrespect. I just wouldn't be around.
Right.
Be from a distance.
Yeah, because you can.
That's how I would answer that question. If you just have one of them crazy parents that's just wild all the time, and you feel as though you're not being heard, they're just wild, then it's best to just love them from a distance, but still be respectful. That's all.
Still be respectful. I like that. You want to add something, Jamar?
Yeah, I wanted to say that to piggyback off of that, when you have a father that constantly works and provide and do the things that he's supposed to do for the family, what I have learned over the time is, when you don't learn how to forgive, it doesn't release you to accept what you thought was wrong, because times were different. Over time, what I've learned to just be more what's the word,
like compassionate.
Right, just be more compassionate, because a lot of times we don't know what our parents been through,
what their story is.
And to not know what their story is, or even if you do know the story, we all got our own individual story,
right,
that we all got to live out. So for me, how and I could be wrong, but this is how I approach, when it comes down to when you have that you don't understand at the age that I am, you learn how to still love through it all. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Because not all the time mom and dad do things intentionally. Oh, that's what it was. Thank you, Holy Spirit. What I learned was my dad was always good for telling me that when I would do things that would remind him of what he used to do,
Mm-hmm.
he would tell me, look, I did the same thing, but at that time I wasn't hearing.
Right.
But over time, as I got older, what I would tell people is that if it wasn't for my mom and dad going through what they going through, what I call it is it's called closed doors and open doors. Because
Mm-hmm.
if my dad never told me about those mistakes, I would still be walking through those closed doors and walking in that
Mhm.
cycle. But
Right.
if you know, with my dad explaining, you know, his mistakes and helping me to understand at the age that I was when he was that age, um, that's what I call it. I call it open doors and closed doors.
I like
And
that.
you know how they always there's a saying that says when we tell our kids, you can either learn it from your parents or learn it from the streets. And I was glad that my dad created those. It might have not been what I accepted, but to teach me that those doors is closed in my life, but the doors is open for you to make the right choice in your life.
Right.
So that's it.
So
I'm
Josh,
sorry.
Josh, to piggyback on what Jamar is saying, do you tell, as a father, do you tell your sons and your daughters, like, do you say, hey, this was my experience, and do you tell them like how to avoid pitfalls and that type of thing, and then they're on their own after that?
No, they're not on their own. Listen, all the time, real fast. I'm gonna answer that real fast. But back to Jamar, I want to say one thing too. For those that don't forgive like that, like you was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they turn around and do the same thing they hated that their parents did. Because God has a way of showing you, you got to get there too.
Right.
But back to you, Sharon. Yes, of course. When I talk, not just to my biological kids, but I deal with a lot of youth. Always have. Even when my kids were small, their friends and everything. And this is another thing I feel as though we should do as parents. It's not just about your kids. You know, there's a lot of other kids out there that might not have a father figure around or might not be able to get that good counsel or that good advice. It's your obligation to do that.
It's whose obligation?
It's our obligation.
Okay.
You know, well, listen, I'll just go biblical. The Bible tells us, listen, us older men, we're supposed to teach the younger men,
Mm-hmm.
right? Older women supposed to teach the younger women.
Right.
You know what I mean? But since we're talking, I know we're talking about like, you know, our kids and everything, but of course, I would talk to them about certain things that I went through, why am the way I am,
Mm-hmm.
and certain things, because that's a good parent is going to do several things, and guiding is one of those big things that we have to do. We're obligated to guide our children,
Right.
to give them
To teach
wise
them,
instruction.
train them.
And to give them a direction. With
Mm-hmm.
a GPS, we got to give them that good direction. You know what I mean? And they might not always like it.
So Josh, can you tell us a little bit about your mentoring? You're a mentor, correct?
That's what they call it. That's the name they call it.
That's the
But
new word.
I just call it just being me.
Yeah.
It's something that I don't know. It's just I knew what it was like when I was coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and my father wasn't around, and I wish he would came to some of my games, or wish he would have seen me here, would have been more involved. Would have helped around the house, so my mother wouldn't have struggled as much as she did. So I made up in my mind and in my heart that I was going to be there for my kids, and I was going to make sure. Because now, don't get me wrong, my father he shared some of his mistakes and things of that nature, but
Right.
you need more than just sharing it. You need to be
Yeah.
there too.
Yeah. You need some action.
Yeah, you got to be there.
Right.
So, and I take full accountability, and that's another thing a parent has to do too. You have to be accountable for what you do.
Right. Yeah. So, Josh, you just said that you said something that I want to touch on with for fathers. You mentioned sharing household responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I know, there are gender roles that people have that are, some roles go to the mom, some roles go to the father. So, how can fathers help more with the woman's gender role? Do you feel like that's a thing?
No, because I feel like, I mean, that's I guess that would be up to each individual. I know with me, I was
Mm-hmm.
going to be involved in my kids' life. I was going to make sure I was going to be the one that was going to do a lot of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a man, you set that kind of standard, what kind of household you want.
Right.
You understand? And
Yeah.
that woman, she's she has that, that motherly skill, but at the same sense, you need that father to sit there and set that standard. So
You want to add
that was
something,
just something.
Jamar?
No, I'm just listening. I'm listening.
No, it's the truth.
It is.
As
Because
that
I always
man,
feel
as that man in your household, because
yeah,
your kids, trust me, we all, like I said, we have to. We're supposed to be guided, be able to
right.
guide our children, but we're also providing. And it's not. When people hear providers, they think financially all the time, which is
Talk
true.
about it.
Which is true.
Yes.
But you know what? You have to provide more than that. You have to provide that love, right?
Yes.
You have to provide discipline. You have
Mm-hmm.
to provide instructions,
I
right?
like it.
See?
I like that
And you
because a lot,
set those tones. You set
like you
those
said,
tones.
yes, like you said, a lot of people think the provision part is the end of it for fathers and parenthood, but you also have to provide the love. You provide a soft place. So, what do you guys think about this soft parenting? So, have you heard about it? It's like I guess a gentler parenting
Look
style.
at the results of it. That's what I can tell you. Look at the results.
Mm.
You look at the results.
So, it's a no go for you.
I'm just saying, look at the results. This is why I said earlier, you set that tone earlier.
Yeah.
As the kids are small.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you set that tone. You let them know. And then you trust me, it gets soft. It gets to be soft.
Right.
Where, like with my kids, each kid is different. You got, as a parent, you know your kid. You don't treat each kid the same because each kid, they have different emotional how they deal with things, how they handle things. You know what I mean? So you have to know each. I knew my children. I know each one's personality. I knew what would move one and what wouldn't. And and some of the kids, some of my kids, I could just look at them. If they knew they did something wrong,
Right.
that was all I had to do. Little Josh, all I had to do was look at him.
And he already know.
That was it. I just look at him. Now Javon was like real testy. She was real testy. She was real testy. Chantel was a sneaky one, but she was just giggly and laid back. Aaron, that's my man. Aaron was something. Aaron was the one. Him and Javon, they were the ones. But Aaron was that one. But I could see, when we talk about providing too, guess what's one of the biggest things that as a man you're supposed to provide for your children or a parent?
Mm-hmm.
Blessings. You speak blessings over your kids' life.
Yes.
I just want to get that. So because they are our blessings. So I have to say, so I knew how my kids were. Destiny, she just was. I didn't have to do nothing with that girl. She just was about doing her own little thing, whatever. But each kid reacts different, and if you impart in them like early, like don't play on couches. One thing my kids knew when we went to the store, I never had an issue with my kids going inside a store and touching everything and crying if they didn't get it because we established something.
Right.
You helped my wife out. See, when I established that and I stuck with it, it helped my wife out because when she went to the store, she didn't have that issue. She didn't have that problem.
I like
when
that.
We went out to whether it was at a job function or something, and my kids were there. They would sit there and watch the other kids go, wow, and look at them like, why are you doing that? But it was because we set a standard. That's all I'm trying to say.
A standard and a foundation. So like Ernest said in the comments, he said he prays over his family every day. Is that something that you guys implement?
Oh, yes. There's a saying that says a family that pray together, stay together. I can say that before I go to work, me and my family, we connect hands and I'll pray one day, my kids will pray one day, and my wife will pray one day.
Oh, I
So
love that.
give everybody the opportunity to say something, even if it's small, if it don't make sense. It's
Hmm.
just a simple fact that we're setting the tone, we're setting the day, we're
Yeah.
we're we're believing, we're setting this foundation. So I
And especially as a father, to start that and implement that in your family, it's very important to say, okay, I'm going to lead this way, and we're going to lead with God and prayer to start the tone of our day. So that way, if you're in distress or whatever, you're teaching the kids like to reach out to Father God. So
There you
that
go.
way you can look to him for answers when I'm not available. So I think that's very important,
I like
Jamar,
that.
that you
That's,
do
and
that.
that's it. That's it. That's the whole reason
Mhm.
why you want to teach your kids to pray, be able to pray for
Hmm.
themselves too.
Right.
One thing that I do, and I don't just do it here at my house. I do it on my job. I anoint every entrance, the outside of my door, the inside of my door,
Hmm.
front and back door. I do the same thing in my office, and that's just something that I always did, just to bless those things coming in and those things coming out.
Yeah.
Not just one thing that me and my wife do every morning, because now most of our kids, they're grown and they're gone. Um, we still call out their names every morning.
Oh, I love that.
Mm.
Every morning. Yes.
So for the your parenting style, you pray for the kids in the morning, and even if the kids are absent, even as adults, Josh, you're saying we still keep the same consistency as parents, because you're still parents even after they're gone.
That's right. Well, and guess what? God can do more for them than we ever could.
Mm.
Oh, come on now.
If you're
Yes.
gonna speak on it, if you're gonna believe on it, if you're gonna have that faith, and I know that's a fact. Even when your kids are when they're finding out who they are,
Hmm.
okay, you have to sometimes as a parent and good parents, you're gonna have to
Right.
just turn some things over to God because
To
He
God.
got it. He got it. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a good father because He's the ultimate father, the ultimate
Right.
parent.
Right.
So
What were you saying? You were saying something, Jamar?
No, look, I'm definitely agreeing and learning at the same time. Because if truth be told, we're not perfect, and if we all be honest, and
Hmm.
just listen. I think that was one of the things growing up, is listening. It's easy to, when your parents speak, it goes in one ear and not the other.
Yeah.
So a lot of things is what he's saying is confirmation and just listening. Because I'm at that age where I'm still learning because my kids are younger. So,
Yeah.
and I'm hearing that Josh is saying that his kids is older, but it seemed like we are in the same place in agreement. So, anybody that's my age, I would just say, just listen,
Yeah. And give your kids the tools. Like
right.
Mickey said, you're always giving your kids tools as a father for all the lessons, for lessons in life. Like it's never ending. The journey of fatherhood is long,
Mm.
because even with buying a house or buying a car or purchasing or college and all of that, like the journey doesn't end. You can agree, Josh?
I can agree. And even in this day and time, it's very important. I know I keep saying I'm talking about the discipline and stuff like that
Hmm.
because it's huge. You was talking about the soft parenting. Well, trends change, times change.
Yeah.
You have to be able to still be consistent with what you taught those kids as far as what's right and the values,
Hmm.
what's wrong. So that even when it seems like everybody else is doing everything that they want to do that's wrong, that your kids will be like, nah, I done went a little bit, but I'm not gonna go all the way over there. You
Right.
understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Because this is a time where now it seems like you can pretty much
Everybody's doing
do
everything.
whatever they want to do, and don't want anybody to say anything to them. Not just their parents. They don't want the teachers saying anything to them. They don't want doctors saying anything to them. They don't want the pastors saying anything to them now. They don't want your friends telling you something. If there's things that they want to do that they know they ain't got no business doing, they're really not going to go to their good friend that's going to tell them, no, you wrong.
the truth.
Yeah. My daughter just said in the comments, she said that so they can hear their dad's voice. So that was something that her dad and I always like implemented. We want to tell you what the right thing is. So that way, when you are in a situation, it's our voice that you hear that'll say, this is right, this is wrong. Which way should I do this? Are my, like Josh said, are my morals and my values, would they agree with this thing that I'm doing? Whether it be smoking, drinking, whatever.
Mhm.
But
Will
then
it?
you reinforce that love with them too. You have to let them know because they're gonna go through stages.
Right.
We still go through stages.
Yeah.
We still have our faults. But
Oh, absolutely.
hey, we still have our faults and our failures and stuff like that. But because you showed them love and because you showed them consistently, your kids they're not gonna just abandon you because you make a mistake as a parent.
Mhm.
And you can
understand what
tell
I'm
them
saying?
as parents,
Yeah.
we do make mistakes. We're not perfect
Yes.
people.
We're
Right.
still learning. We're
Yeah.
still
We're
living.
learning while we're
And
parenting.
I don't care how good it looks. I don't care what kind of collar you wear, what kind of title you had.
Yeah.
There's only one Jesus.
Right.
Right.
It's only
Right.
one
Right.
perfect. Yeah.
But
So even, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said, so even as we're learning, like, so I know one parenting style that Jen taught on episode 2, she said that we could even, write, like the kids can write to communicate if it's a little tough for you to communicate with your parent or your father. Sometimes it's a challenge. Like, I don't know how to say it, but you can write things, or you can have some type of different nonverbal dialogue to talk to your kids. I
Right.
like that part. So, what specific styles do you guys use? Do you use a specific style like for communication with your kids, Jamar?
Me and wife, we have came to a place in our life where we play family games.
Mm-hmm.
Family games, anything, because our kids just love to have fun. So anything that's going to uh, keep them, what's the word? I would say keep them occupied.
Right.
So we normally play family games. My kids already know when it come down to the devices, they only get it Saturdays and Sundays. They don't get it during the school week.
They don't they
Um,
don't have any devices during the week?
no, ma'am.
Oh,
No, ma'am.
wow. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Monday through Friday, they don't have their devices.
That's
Uh,
very different in this age.
they get it on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's
Um,
awesome, man.
Okay. I respect that.
That's awesome.
and I mean, like I said, with our kids, it's just I just we just come down to their level, but we still keep our postures as parents because we don't want them. And I'm gonna go back to this again. We don't want them to learn from the streets.
Right.
So where they're at is technology, social media. So they like to do the little TikTok thing. So
Hmm.
dad has to, me being dad has to figure that out and change my style for them to still be able to communicate with me and not think that I'm that boring dad. But you still just like Josh was saying that you still keep those standards in the house.
Right.
Nothing changed. The clothes might have changed. We might look like the kids, but the talking is still the same. But over time they'll learn that, hey, dad, you you blended in with what we thought was wrong, but it was right. So,
And you
but
were still consistent,
still
and there
consistent.
was still some level of discipline.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good. So what's a unique philosophy? You have a unique philosophy or practice that you used on the kids with your household there, Josh?
Unique philosophy. Really nothing. The philosophy was, listen, we're a family. Um, we need to love and respect each other pretty
Hmm.
much. We're going to put God first, foremost.
Mm.
And that's through our ups and downs, our good and our bads. Um, that's pretty much my philosophy, that we're not just going to wild out. Like I
Right.
said.
So Ernest had another good comment. He said we need to show them that we are approachable and that we won't judge them when they're going through. What do you guys think about that?
I agree.
So
There's
do
a
you
lot
think
of
you're approachable to your kids? Would your kids say that you're approachable? That's a better question.
Well, that comes down to the communication. You start that young, and even with all of that, just to be honest, there's going to be just like you were with your parents. You didn't tell your parents every single thing, no matter how good they were. There's going to be some things that they're just going to have to find out on their own, and they're
Mhm.
not wanting to share with you, no matter how approachable you are.
Yeah. So
That's just being honest.
right, because sometimes they'll be like, but like you said, if there is a level of like communication that goes back and forth,
hmm
a lot of times for kids, oh, I wouldn't, a lot of stuff I didn't feel like, my parents were approachable, but it goes with the times of when they grew up and what they knew they didn't know, what they didn't know they didn't know. So I thought so I said, as my parenting, I'm going to change and I'm going to make myself available and approachable. And my kids let me know that I was not as approachable as I thought. So that's
Yeah,
what I
because
was
you knew some
wondering.
of the things that you did that, thank God, you didn't get what you should have got for it.
Yeah, and they
Yeah, we
let me know,
all of
hey, you wasn't as approachable as you thought. So I said that to say, like, ask your kids and see what they say. Even all the viewers who are watching, ask your kids and see how they respond when you ask them, "Are you an approachable parent? Like, can
mm
I come to you? Am I open enough?" And see, I would love to hear what those responses are. It's-
no, but I caught myself a few times, um, um, when I knew my kids may have had something they wanted to share with me, and
Mhm.
my reaction probably was something when they get because they test you first to see how things are. They're gonna do something
Yeah,
to test you first and see
right.
how you react to that, and then they
Hmm.
might base the other thing on that. So I know there's a few times I may have failed that,
mm.
but at the end of the day, we're able to work that out.
Because someone commented and said that you always want to be like, you want to be the parent to go to before the kids go to Google and ask a question. Is that true?
Well,
What
go ahead. You go ahead,
Go
Jamar.
ahead, Jamar.
I was gonna say, well, as parents, sometimes we don't know everything,
Hmm.
and a lot of times too, because I know I take my kids around people, so you will pray that they get what they're looking for from people that you surround yourself with. Um, but a lot of times they will go to Google, and just like I think Josh was saying, it's through experience that if we teaching our kids from the beginning that through their experience it'll bring them back to where we don't have to go to Google. Well,
Yeah,
it just fall right back into, all right, well, this is what dad said, or this is what mom said. So I mean, a lot of times, yeah, I mean, I find myself, when I don't know something, I might have to go on Google myself.
that's what
um,
Kat said. She said she goes to Google, but we can go to Google together so that way they can see. And I love that type of parenting. Well,
mhm.
let's learn together because I don't know and you don't know.
Yes, it might be better to go to Google to get some type of advice versus going to little Junior over there who feel like he the head of the streets.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
Yeah,
right.
right,
So
right.
yeah,
So
because
what? Go ahead.
that's real fast. It's a tough thing. As a parent, one of the challenging things, and I know this because I get a lot of calls. Even though I don't really work the streets anymore, I get a lot of calls with parents. Can you
Hmm.
please talk to my child? Can you please come see my son? They're out of control. I get that a lot. So the first thing I do, I'll tell them, I say, so you want me to come talk to your child? You sure? Yes, Josh. Yeah. Can you talk to him? Can you talk to him? Okay, well, when I get there, I need to see their room. And they're like, why you got to see their room?
Hmm.
Why? Just let me see the room. I go in the room and I'll see a bunch of Jordans. I'll see iPhones, Xbox, PS4, PS5. I
Right.
said, so you said he doesn't take out the trash, he don't go to school, don't do his homework,
Mm.
help you around the house. How did he get all this stuff?
Mm.
So what's the response though? So are you saying don't buy the stuff
I'm
until they're
saying,
more
listen,
responsible?
let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When you were little, first of all, you had to appreciate whatever it was you got, right?
Everything in the house was
And you pretty
precious.
much had to work for a lot of stuff too. You had to do something around that
Everything.
house.
Even if it came from the consignment store, we treated it like it was gold.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was in high school, when I was in school, there was rules. There were set rules.
Right.
You ain't playing. You're not gonna play no sport if you're not getting these type of grades. If you're not passing this, if you don't come to school,
Yep. That's right.
right?
Yeah.
So why should you reward? Why should you? That's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped playing so much ball down with the kids that I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
the boys, because I noticed I was allowing them to come down and they were playing ball, which is just a sport, and I love that. And it's teaching them some other skills, but I was finding out these kids were smoking all day, getting high all day, skipping school, not listening to their parents. But then they're going to come there, and I'm going to reward you with some ball. That's not teaching them nothing, and it's not saving them at all. So what I say, you're not obligated to buy no kid no phone, no Xbox. They're not needs, they're wants. And if you want them, then you need to do what you're supposed to do. That's
I
how
mean,
I feel.
because in actuality, when we want something, we actually go to work and earn money to buy the thing. Right.
That's all I'm
So,
saying.
and that teaches responsibility.
Right.
You want to
That's what I'm
chime
saying.
in, Jamar? So how's that work in your house? Like,
Um. Yeah, we don't give the kids what they want, because when you give the kids what they want, their behavior changes. Like for example, like when you give them their devices for the week, or you allow them to get on their devices. And I'm not saying all kids, but
mm-hmm.
I'm talking about my kids. You know what I mean? What I've noticed, me and wife noticed, is behavior change. Um, Now Monday comes, from the 2 days that they had their devices and they got what they wanted. Everybody friendly,
Mm-hmm.
friends, the house is cool, they doing what they supposed to do. But then the moment you take the device, here goes the attitude. Here goes the everybody's against each other.
Right.
So when you give the kids what they need, uh, what they want, their behavior doesn't. What is the word? Their behavior changes.
Mm-hmm.
So I know growing up, that's how it was for me growing up. My dad didn't really give us what we wanted. We had to share everything,
Right.
and with sharing everything, you see little Billy with his own PlayStation, and we gotta share a Nintendo. But it's you know, but what I've learned is that I've learned how to appreciate,
Yeah.
and when you learn how to appreciate, you can give somebody the smallest thing and make
Yeah.
something out of it. And a
Right.
lot of times kids don't see that, so
Because
um
they don't get a chance to
right,
appreciate anything because you get given so much so early.
right. So
So Jalen has a question. Jalen Hudgens. He said, "How much of a mix between old school parenting and new school parenting do you think is necessary to raise today's kids? Like, how much of a mix between old school and new school?
Go ahead,
Old school
Jamar.
parenting."
for me, I would say it would be a balance, because a lot of things that my dad taught me, I still see that I still carry them structures.
Mm-hmm.
Now with today, with the kids, is with what's going on today, you just kind of put it together, but you don't get away from who you are. So that's I mean, approaching that question, I I still have what mom and dad taught me, and I just I make it to where my kids can understand at their age at this time. Because if I express it in my times, sometimes they don't understand. So then
Right.
that all comes with, like I think Josh spoke on it earlier, knowing your kids, knowing how they are, and different things like that. So That's, I could say, for me as a parent.
I'd say, yeah, there's a mix. But just whether it's old or new school, whatever they want to call it, when you parent, you want to make sure that you reinforce to those kids that they're special, they're different. There's nobody else like you. You gotta tell them there's nobody else like you. And if you can empower them to be true to themselves at a young age, it'll still be difficult because you have so many different forces coming at these kids now that didn't come at you and I. Well, me, I'm almost 60 years old, so it was things that didn't come at us, like as far as the social media, the phones, and there's a lot of different challenges.
They have a lot of access immediately.
And a lot of voices. See, we had a select group of friends that even your mom knew you had that one corded phone, so you can talk on that phone if you want. But at a certain time, you're gonna hear that other side pick up, and you can't just call any times of the night. Now they can talk all night, text all night, send videos and everything. The TV didn't even stay on all night. So I understand there's a change, but that's why it's important, because there's only so much you can do, because now you don't know everybody your kid is connected to. If you're actively on their phones all the time, or actively, on their social media accounts, there's no way for you to know who's imparting stuff into your kids, who they're listening to, and who they're vibing with.
Yeah.
So one thing I realized, you just got to let them know, listen, I'm going to trust you to do what you're supposed to do. I love you. I'm going to be here for you. But you have to be true to yourself.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people out there that will definitely, they want to see you fall. And I tell all the kids, there's a lot of people out there, they may be close to you, that they smile in your face, but they actually want to see you fall. And they'll lead you to these different traps and lead you to these little different devices, but then they'll laugh at you. So that's why I tell my kids, and I trust them. I thank God I've been blessed. The old school worked, old versus and new, it worked.
Yeah.
And even with my
like
grandkids.
you said, Josh, you just adjust to your kids, so you don't father every kid the same. Is that correct? Or
exactly
right?
So you
the rules are the same.
The rules are the same.
The method of how you implement them.
I like that. The rules are the same. It's just the method of how you implement them change with the kid, with the child.
Yes.
So technically the rules are the same, but you're still parenting them different.
Yes.
Right.
I got it. Did you say something? You agree?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Kat said that she had to rebuild from so many broken processes. She said she had to unlearn so much I had to grow from. So I think that's a thing too. Like when we're parenting, and I can't speak from a father's point of view, but I know like a lot of the process, sometimes the process is a broken process that was passed down to us. It just doesn't work. So what do you guys think about like adjusting? Do you adjust? What is it called? Pivot? You pivot, right? That's a sports term. You pivot in the middle of parenting.
Well, as a parent, you have to be, like I said, you don't provoke your child to wrath. So you have to admit sometimes if you've been doing something wrong, it's okay to stop, readjust, and correct it and say, listen, I made a mistake. You know what I mean? That wasn't right. You know what I mean? I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with that. I know I've done it.
Okay. I like that. Another thing that June is Men's Mental Health Month. Did you guys know that? Men's Mental Health Month. So what are some things as men? Do you do anything for Men's Mental Health Month? Like, do you have any self-care things? Even in the comments, do you ladies recommend some self-care mental health month activities for the fathers that are watching? You want to chime in?
I hope you don't wait just to June. You might not make it to June. These are some
Right.
trying times right now. You got a lot of
So
things going on, a lot of
is
voices.
there something that you do every month, or how often do you do like something that pertains to helping with your mental health?
You want me to answer that?
Yes.
For me, there's nothing wrong, but sometimes I like to read.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do. I guess I get it from my mom, like problem solving games and stuff like that. And um, I like to. I love looking at the sky. I've always been like that. Sometimes that's some of the most peaceful thing. Isn't just free. Walk
Right.
outside,
Right.
take the time, because we're so busy all the time, and we have so many demands on us, and everything moves so fast, and we have so much information and so much knowledge now.
Yeah.
Everything is news now. So in
Mhm.
order for me, I
Mm-hmm.
love sometimes just looking at the sky. Even if I'm driving, sometimes I'll pull over. If I see it, hey, that artwork God put up there, and I acknowledge that, and that's a little peaceful thing, Sitting back, and I love being with my family too. So I don't know. Those things relax me. I love to draw. I love music. Um, so yeah, you might need to get a good massage, man. Massage.
A massage is great. I didn't know they were a thing for men because we go to a masseuse, Millie, Iris Roscoe. She's amazing. She's in Sicklerville. I'll put her business, or somebody can put her business in the comments. And she will let you know, maybe I'll have her on. She will let you know, like, there's so much tension from men in their shoulders from stress that you need to get that out of there. Like, you have to release the tension. I mean, I can't say from experience, but from what I understand, being a man is stressful.
Go to the gym.
Go to the
Yeah,
gym.
I was gonna
Go to
say,
the gym, man.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
can
I was
take
gonna,
everything out on there. Everything.
yeah,
Release a lot.
yeah, I
Or
was gonna
let,
say,
or let my daughter Destiny work you out.
No
She'll
thanks.
do something. You won't be stressful after that. I guarantee you.
I was gonna
Go ahead,
say,
Jamar.
mine's is kind of similar. Like the brother said, go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go to the gym early in the morning. And you go to the gym as a bunch of older people, so I don't gotta scramble to get to the weights. Um, I like reading.
Are we the older people?
Huh? Well, I want to say. Well,
I'm
look,
like, are we the
I'm
older
gonna
people
say
you talking about?
I'm gonna say this. I have gotten a lot of wisdom and encouragement when I get around people that's y'all age. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's not saying old.
Yeah.
I just find it like, dang, like you just don't know. That's where I'm at in my life. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't even
Yeah.
have to say nothing. I
Right.
just go in there and and somebody just come up and we just have a basic conversation, and they don't even know that they touching what you're going through to get through what you gotta
Imparting
go through.
wisdom. I love it.
Right. Um, I like to go to I would say the ocean and sit there at the beach. You could see the sunrise,
Mm-hmm.
um, running. And I think Josh said it. Spend time with my family. I love. We love. Not me. We love going on vacation, and I
Y'all do.
love
Y'all
how.
just went on vacation. I was like, y'all in the streets again. I'm in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
where are y'all at? Y'all just went to Disney.
Look, my kids. Look, we get in the car. We just go 2 hours away. They think it's vacation,
Right.
and we can go anywhere. And it's just, I just love their personality because they're not picky. They're not choosy. They're not, oh, I want to go to Disney World. I want to go here. I want to go there. Wherever we go, fun. Because mom's gonna make it fun, dad's gonna make it fun. We're gonna
Right.
laugh. We might stay up all night. But that's one thing I can say that I love spending time with my family, and it makes me a better person. But
A couple people said they in the comments they said they go outside without the kids. So that is that is peaceful. Like, I think as men, because I'll always push Ron to go get a massage or just go hang out with some other men. Like, go find your friends and go talk to them. Go shoot pool.
I don't know. I have fun with my kids. Like even like
Yeah.
with my sons, we were playing Madden. When Madden first came out, me and Josh, they thought we were playing a real football game or something like that. That boy was very competitive.
Yeah.
Or Aaron, getting on there with even with my nephew, little Steve, and all that. Those things relax me too. Online, spending time with them, watching a show with my kids or something like that, and so I never had a problem with that. I never had a problem with that feeling like I needed to be. This is just me that I had to be away from them in order to kind of have peace. They kind of like made me laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I just brought it up because it was Mental Health Month.
Right.
So I was just inquiring, like, what do you do to take care of yourself mentally with your family?
And I will say, cousin Sharon, that I definitely agree with what you just said about getting out with your friends, um, your boys. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
definitely, because I tried it, and what I've learned is that is what I called it was identity theft. Um, you don't ever stop being who you are, and sometimes when you get away from that for so long, and then you get back into it, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to look at your friends the same way. And to me, I kind of felt like I was judging them for what they, because I made adjustments in my life. But I can, you can still be you and still hang with your friends.
Right.
So I can say that was something that I just started a while ago. So
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
We have
that's
a
nice too.
question.
I mean,
Go ahead.
that's cool too. Because I used to play ball all the time, so I was always playing
So that
ball.
technically is.
Yeah, away from me. Yeah, well, they would be there too. Some of them games,
Yeah.
but a
Yeah.
lot, it was just me. Whatever.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
I always love that when men just go, what is it? Iron sharpens iron. So you can have those difficult conversations with other men where you can say, "Hey, I'm struggling with this, and what do you guys?" So you can go get some type of wisdom and advice from other men. So you can, what is it called? Glean. You gleam off of each other.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not for
So
everybody neither. That's like you said.
it's
You got to use wisdom
yeah.
even when you do that.
Right. You can't go to the
You
pool
ladies too.
hall.
Yeah, you ladies too. Use wisdom. I
Yes.
mean, it's all right to share, but
Right. But make sure there's some boundaries with what you're sharing.
well, who?
Just- Yeah,
Everybody is not like
and
that.
who? Yeah, absolutely. So we have a question from Deanna. It says, "Why don't some men hold their friends accountable when they see them not being the fathers they know they can be?"
I can't answer for some men because you know what? They might feel like they doing the same thing. I don't know, but I know for me, some of the kids that I mentor, um, I've had to go and address some fathers because they really had some really bright, great young men and daughters that all they wanted was for their father to spend some time with them.
Wow.
So I've actually went to the father's house and said, because I knew them, you knew what it was like when your dad wasn't around you.
Right.
Your son is walking around angry. He's hurt and he's going through it because he can't understand why you rejected him.
Right.
Like,
Was
that's
that
real
a
talk.
difficult conversation, like to approach another
No,
man and say,
it wasn't difficult. It wasn't difficult because you have to just be straight up with it, and it's not putting nobody down. It's just letting them remember what it
Right.
felt, what they felt like when they were coming up, and what
Yeah.
they went through. You know what I mean? And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you can't make anybody do anything. But I had no problem doing that, and I have no problem with somebody calling me out if they thought I was whatever. Because I
You have
know,
anything?
but
Go ahead.
no, that's it.
No,
That's a good question.
I think. Go ahead, Jamar.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sometimes holding other fathers accountable, you tell them, but they just don't listen. Just like how I think we was speaking about it earlier. When you're kids, it goes in one ear, not the other. And you can say some things, and even when you holding them accountable, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna get it right. But when you do have that talk, it does plant that seed for them to get it right. Because when they get to a point in their life where they can't do it no more, then I think Cousin Sharon, you said it. Then everything starts to make sense. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, you know, I can say from experience, you hold. It's just the time that they just don't listen. You know what I mean? And I can speak for myself because there was a time where I was that way. I didn't listen, and somebody was constantly holding me accountable, and you run away from that. You know what I mean? You don't want to hear the truth, and but it takes for you to go through something to realize that that person that was telling you the truth, that dang, okay, that person really loved me. And a lot of times it'll be that one person out of 15 other people telling you the
Right.
wrong thing. So I
So what do we say to the children of these parents? Like if the parent isn't susceptible, like they're not listening to what you say, Josh. So the kid comes to you, the child, the teenager, they come to you and they say, "Hey, I'm missing this at home and I'm looking for that from my father."
And
And you go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And you have maybe talked to the father and the kid is still like the teenager, they're still just not getting that. Like, what are you referring them to? Are you referring them to like some type of program, like where they can go get that type of
Well,
connection?
for the kids that I've dealt with through my program, I wish I had someone on here right now, and they would tell you for themselves. And it's not got nothing to do with like patting myself on the back or nothing like that. Just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my office was down at the Arm Center, and some of these kids, that's the favorite spot where they want to go is inside there
Can you say where the Alm Center is? Like
at the
nobody
Arm Center.
knows.
At the Arm Center down here in Bridgeton, New
Okay,
Jersey, the
thank
Arm
you.
Center, across from Union Baptist Temple, Martin Luther King Jr. Way. Um, a lot of the conversations, some very good conversations and some deep conversations were initiated by the kids right in there.
Mm-hmm.
They knew it was a safe spot. They knew it was going to be real. They know it was going to be transparency. And you just had to let them know that you were going to be there for them,
Right.
the best you could be. You can't step in and take the place of a father, but you can be there for them to try to offer them some advice. If they need help
Yeah.
on a resume, if they need some advice on something, or they need some type of direction, you can give it to them. I had one kid, and I'll say this, he was in my program since he was a little kid, and I seen the changes in him as he got older. And he was falling off, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
One day he came into the center to play ball, and when I seen him, now there was some things that I knew he was doing, but I didn't let him know I know about it.
Right.
I just grabbed him, I hugged him. I told him, I said, you know what? I love you, man. I said, I love you. And I said, it would break my heart if something was to happen to you or you were to do something to somebody else.
Wow.
And I said, I need you to get it back together. And all he said was, you know what, you're right. They call me Dirty. He said, Dirty, you know you're right. You're right. I know I got to get it together, man. I'm struggling. Mm-hmm. And those little talks, and then you just dap them up and go on away.
Because you give them a no judgment zone, somebody said.
There you go.
There you go. And I think that's important.
So that's what you do if that father still doesn't step up. You might have to take a kid and say, listen, he can't, he's ashamed because he can't go to the prom because he don't have a suit or nothing. How hard is it going to be? And I know you can't do it for everybody, but to take that one little kid and take him to the store and say, man, you pick out what suit you want. You pick out your fit, and I got you.
Right. Well, if you need help with that next year, Josh, you let us know, and we'll put a call out to people to donate for that.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I would not be surprised because we were the poor kids.
I got you.
And I understand that not that everybody's poor or not well off or whatever the case is. Right. But yes, definitely next year, let us know if people need help and some of the youth need help with like prom and stuff. And I'm sure my viewers will definitely donate to make sure they have something to wear. That's pretty dope.
That's all I'm saying. You just take that time. If that kid is trust you enough to confide in you what they're really going through, and that means you have already established some type of relationship with them. that they can trust you, because these kids are very smart. They don't trust everybody.
Right.
And so if you got that far with them, you know, and you can, like I said, you can't do everything, but what God leads you to do, and it's not for nobody else to know, you just do it.
Right. Yeah. So Jamar, I know your son participates in boxing down in Cape May County. Is that like some mentoring program down there that happens? Or he did participate?
Yeah, he doesn't he did it for a while, so he's not boxing right now. He's doing he's actually just got done from doing track and field. But boxing was just more for self-discipline. So but as we speaking now, he's doing track and field right now.
So how did boxing help with self-discipline?
And his frustrations, instead of, because I always tell people this, when you frustrated, that be the best times you can make something work. For him, when you get in that ring and you fight, take your frustration out on them, or
Right.
you know what I mean.
It's
But
a release of the stress, like Josh said, like the gym.
right, so
Yeah.
I can say that like I said, it gave him self-discipline. So that's just like when he would come home and he know when he would get upset about something and he might not understand what we trying to tell him.
Yeah.
He would find a way and still do it. You know what I mean? So I could definitely say that the boxing definitely helped with his self-discipline.
So can we talk about affection? Affection in fathers. So what is your take on affection in fathers? Because I know for me, well, my dad is a hugger and a crier. So I've never not had that part with my father. Now my mom, on the other hand, is not the hugger and not the crier. She is a hugger now. So for men, how is that to express yourselves and see your kids express yourselves? How does that, like, are you transparent with that? Anybody want to answer?
You want to go? I could say that being honest. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Um, I struggled in that department, with the hugging and the kissing, and because what, I thought it was something. It was just something. I was like, just thinking that providing and just the words will be enough.
Mm-hmm.
I never forget, for my son, for his birthday, all he wanted me to do was paint his room, and I'm in his room painting, and as I'm painting it, I'm just bawling. I'm crying. Now my wife done took some pictures, and I'm in there crying because it was just like, for me, I'm just like, wow, like, because I know how it was growing up for me. I had four brothers, and for my son to make his what he wanted for his birthday, not something extreme. I want the PS5. I want this. I want that. I want
Right.
this, that. I want to pick my room with you. I just want to spend that time with you. That for me was, yeah, that was and that led to a hug. And when with that leading from tears to a hug, um, it's very important to hug your kids. It's very important to kiss your kids,
Yeah.
because nowadays kids is dying left and right. And I encourage anybody that's my age that got kids under the, kiss them every day, hug them every day, even if they upset you, if they get you mad, hug them, kiss them, and
Yeah.
that's it for me.
Good. No, we have our little text group, I want to say, within the family, and what we, even before then, I mean, we have no issues just randomly saying, listen, I love you, or just doing simple things to let each other know that we're thinking about each other. And my kids are grown They're all over the place right now. But no, I have no problem giving my kids everything that I pretty much do is for my family. Anyhow, it's for them. A lot of sacrifices as parents. We make a lot of sacrifices, especially as men. We make a lot of sacrifices. A good parent is going to make a lot of sacrifices. You know, there's times you want to do some things, you can't do it because you got to make sure household is taken care of. You know, so, but I never had an issue with telling my kids I love them, holding them, except for when they got too big. Now I'm telling them, I tell my kids, each one, I let them know, you get too heavy now. This is my last time I'm carrying you up the steps, and you faking like you sleep.
So is that something that you had, Josh, at home as a kid, and you said, I'm
well,
going
with
to
my
continue
mom,
this on?
with my mom, early on with my father, I remember early on with my father, but then, like I said, he you know, he was going through his own little thing.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was always very loving, and I tell you what, she taught me a lot about what a parent should be. And don't get me wrong, my father, he's when he was there, there was a lot I learned from him.
Mm-hmm.
He had an imprint also.
Right.
And then there was some things that I learned not to do. But with my mother, she was that one that, man, patience, her understanding. I'm telling you, she was a very patient and very understanding and very wise woman. My father, when he got older, when he was younger, he didn't take nothing. It was like, boy, you go get that switch.
Right. It was the discipline.
There you go.
So is the father, so what do you guys think about the father being seen as the disciplinarian and like mainly the disciplinarian? Is that fair to you guys?
No, that's not fair. We don't do that.
Right?
We don't do that. It's none of that. We wait till your dad get home. Wait till your dad get home. No, you can handle that situation right there. But make sure, even that, like I said, make sure you listen before you don't just beat somebody or whatever. Listen and explain, you know,
right,
what's going on.
Because you guys still have the foundation that you've laid together to say what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. Yeah. I got you. Okay, so what do you think the main responsibility of a father is? I have that a protector, a provider, and a disciplinarian. You want to have anything else to add? Or do you think that that's the gist of fatherhood? I mean, communication. No.
Role model, examples.
A role model. Mm-hmm. So I have provider, protector, and disciplinarian. But I think like we've been talking about the communication part. And I think that's a lot where you said, Josh, to set the foundation of communication as a child. That way you're training them up that you can communicate. And then, you know, I would think it should be less discipline as they're growing.
No, that's true. Like I said, but if you're one of those ones where you're like, everything that your child do when they're little is just cute. You never set no type of boundaries. They're not going to stay small. If they like punching people and doing things to kids, and you never correct them, right? They're not going to stay small. Now you're going to have a big problem on your hands. So that's just that was my thinking. My wife always tells me I was like I was here before, old soul. Yeah, but I was just a realist, you know.
Yeah. Somebody said in the comments, Mike Jones said, a leader and a teacher, because you actually are leading your household and leading your children, and you're being a teacher. Like you really, as a parent, you are their first teacher. You're teaching them, you know, you're teaching the Bible. You are teaching them discipline. You're teaching them morals, values. You're teaching love. You know what I mean? You're teaching affection, all of that. And coming from a father, a lot of times, listen to me, I'm not talking like a dad, but coming from my experience from a father, that those are things that lay a great foundation even for a child. Like once my dad or my parent teaches me discipline and love, and they're leading me in the right direction, and the Bible say, you know, train up a child in the way it should go. and they won't depart from it. So you are, leading and being a teacher. You're leading by example with what you know, Dee Dee. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's true. And I'll say this: when your kids are small, you have to understand they're not going to know that you're a provider. They're not going to know you're this and you're that. But what
Yeah.
they will know is if you spend time with them or not. They will know.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
all. That's all the kids want. They just
They'll
want
know if you're absent.
did it. They're gonna know. You're gonna know too if you that type. You that good parent, because if the kid's like, I don't want to be around you,
Right.
around you.
So how should if you as a father and your kid is like, I don't want to be around you, like how can a father adjust his parenting style to want the kids to be like active around them? They don't want to like, oh, dad's here, and then they run to the room or they run from him. Like, what advice do you guys have?
Um, for me, I can say that I struggled in that department again. I'm not perfect. When you have a wife that you can go to and ask, what am I doing wrong? Or how can
Mhm.
I become that? How can I open up to the kids? And because the kids always come to you, when you have a significant other that can tell you, and I'm gonna say this, you might not always accept what she say, because it's hard. Because you
Mhm.
want to be that parent where the kids come to you and you don't want to always put it on your wife. But I can say that when you got a wife that in tune with the family, for me, I can say it worked. Um,
Yeah.
and things had gotten better. Now I can say that I didn't hit the mark uh, when I started learning it. I didn't hit the mark directly correct. Every time that I tried to do something, because you got to go through the process. But
Yeah. You
if
make
you
the
got your
effort.
wife there, yes, I can say that's how I picked up.
You want to
Uh,
add to that, Josh?
yeah, I would say if you feel as though there's a disconnect like that,
Mm-hmm.
try to find out. Just take some time, like just listen. Just listen to your child. I mean, you can listen to your wife, but listen to your child, because that's the person who's actually who you're trying to reach. So listen to your child, or watch, listen and watch. See,
Yeah.
see what kind of things that they're drawn to. See what kind of things that they're giving their energy to, and then you can find a common ground. You know, not to force yourself in there, but
Mm-hmm.
just let them know. Listen, you're going, because kids, people go through phases
Right.
and changes, right?
Yeah.
You understand? Sometimes it might not even be you. It might be just something they going through,
Right.
and you might
So,
have to just back off a little bit because they're trying to figure out.
and they're trying to figure it out, and you let them. You can communicate. There is an open door if you want to talk about this,
There you go.
but
But then
it's
kids are
still.
smart too. Kids are smart, so they know if they have one parent who's more. If it's something that they want to do, and there's
Mhm.
one parent that may be just a little bit more lenient on that matter, they know how to.
You have to have a united front
There you go.
on these kids because they'll play you out.
They can play
They'll
Mhm.
you.
definitely know.
They can play
Okay,
you.
like you said, yes, they can.
So
Yes, they can.
it's
Karen
strategy.
said, "I'm sorry. What'd you say?"
Oh, I said it's strategy. It's
It's
learning.
strategy. Yeah. Karen said, "What do you tell sons of our community about what is expected from this society so they can survive? Like, what advice do you tell the kids in the community? Like, what's expected from them so they can survive? Like, I know, Josh, you do your mentoring program. Like, what type of advice do you give the teenagers?"
Um, this is what I gotta tell my kids. I said, it's important because, like I said, there's so many different voices. There's so many things that's going on right through this, and
Mm-hmm.
and that influence on what is so acceptable among the majority.
Yeah.
Sometimes the kids lose their own identity in that. So that's why I said from the beginning, we have to reinforce to our kids who they are and let them
Right.
understand. Listen, I know you're going through certain things, but you have to be true to you.
Yeah. And I like to tell teenagers that social media is not a real place all the time. It's just not. You're watching these celebrities who rent stuff that you think is purchased and it's not real. And you're thinking all of these people are living this glamorous life with no cares and no worries. And it's just not the truth.
But it's not. That's true. But it ain't just the kids. It's not just the kids. A lot of adults feel like, you know, they feel like they have to compare themselves to what they see on there.
Right.
So we can definitely relate. And the kids,
Yeah.
like I said, it's a challenge for them right now. It is a challenge because there's a lot of things. Oh, hey, the dirt bikes and four wheelers, for example.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Philly. Hello. Oh,
Dirt
they do
bikes-
that in Bridgeton
It's
too?
not just what? Yeah, what?
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm going to have to come watch.
It wasn't a thing before. I mean, we always had
Yeah.
dirt bikes and four wheelers, even
Right.
when I was coming up. But there was just certain things that you did and you just didn't do.
Right.
Now, look what's going on. It's not safe for nobody. And you have parents that are actually afraid to tell their kids, to tell their sons, no, you should not be doing this. Or they're afraid to say, no, I'm not going to buy you this. Or no, I'm not going to allow you to either steal one or get one.
I steal one.
They're
Right, because had I taken a dirt bike home that cost $4,000 or $5,000, my mom would have bought me in the head, took it to the police station, and be like, "Listen, this don't belong to us." Like, how do the parents, you know what I mean? Let the stolen bike come home. You know, you ain't buying a bike.
think about this. If we have parents who have, even though they know it's wrong, but they've been at their thoughts on that because the majority, it seems, is saying this is what's good and this is what's wrong with it. Come on. So we're grown.
Right.
You know, it's going to be a lot harder for a kid to shy away from that. We just have to be real about it. But at the end of the day, it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
I agree. Is that a little bit, does that go back to that soft parenting of what's acceptable and what's letting a lot of stuff slide and not being, disciplined? Like Mike said, you have to be straight with the teenagers about the truth of what's going on in the world. Yeah. Because accountability and respect, you have to be respectful. It can save your life. It really can, though.
It's true. At the end of the day, Sharon, it's bigger than you and I.
Mm-hmm.
For those that have faith, those who believe in Jesus and believe in God, we have to understand these things you fighting against. They're out there. The devil's out to destroy and to kill. And he definitely doesn't want no family. He doesn't want a family to be together. So he'll try all kind of tricks and devices to separate the family. Just so those kids can be out. Because that's who he's really after. He's gonna get you, if he can get that head. But as the father, if he can get the head, the Bible tells you, listen, a thief can't come into a house unless he first do what? Bind the strong man, right?
Right.
He has to bind the strong man or the man in the house. He has to
is
bind
the husband, the man of the house. Yeah.
He can come in, the house is open. And the enemy knows that. He knows that. So at the end of the day, all of this is bigger than what we can just physically see here. That's why there's so many attacks coming on our kids in all kind of ways. The music, it's coming through the music. Listen to me, and we know Lucifer was music.
Right.
So all these things are coming at our kids. The attacks, like I said, you have to be that parent.
Yeah.
If you want to save your child, you might not be that popular parent. They might not like you. They might not want to be around you for a while. But the day will come, because we all know right from wrong. So we all have to deal with that behind closed doors. The day will come where they'll say, you know what, Mom? You know what, Dad? I understand now.
Right. There'll be some revelation.
There you go.
There'll be some revelation. So thank you guys for coming on Beyond the Surface. Fatherhood, it takes a village. Did you guys want to give some parting words? I appreciate you guys coming on here and just giving like your perspective and your wisdom and being so transparent about fatherhood and the trials, the tribulations, the love, the joy of fatherhood. Like, it's not for everyone. It's always, a troubled experience. but it's and it's a learning curve, like Jamar said, and Josh. It's learning. You're learning as you go. So, did you guys want to leave some of our viewers with some parting words about your experience, fatherhood, advice?
I follow behind Josh.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, me.
listening. That I said that earlier. Being the age that I am, and somebody that is experienced
Mm-hmm.
and sounds similar to how you was raised, you gotta listen. You
Yeah.
have to listen because just like I feel like I'm going first now, but um,
Go
but you
ahead.
gotta listen. You definitely gotta listen. And a lot of things that Josh was saying is similar to things that I do. Now, does everything that he do I do? No, I don't. But I can say that listening to somebody that's older than me, I can make those changes in my household to have a better and effective family. And you can see on my I my thing is family matters. So
Yeah. And I love, excuse me, Josh, I love that. And I love that we have the two age groups. It shows perspective that, okay, this is where I'm at now, and this is where I can go. So it's kind of a mentoring of, hey, I have somebody I can go to and impart some wisdom, and somebody I can talk to say, hey, I'm struggling in this area. Can you give me some advice?
Yeah. Hey, I like this. I was a little, you know, I didn't know what to expect, but that's nice. This is nice. It's nice conversations. I hope the viewers are getting something out of it, and you know,
Yeah.
I would just say as a parent, we don't know it all. We're still trying to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a thing called you acting in good faith, meaning that you're trying to do the best you can with what you got to work with. Uh,
Yes.
I'm a firm believer that everything that we need, we have. And if you don't know, how did we start the show? Google it.
Right. Google it. Hello. Get that information. So
Well, with
thank you guys.
AI, I say
Go
this
ahead.
real fast. With AI, you can just ask AI. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, listen, I like AI.
Yes.
I've been trying to dibble and dabble in AI. So thank you guys for coming on. Ah, a recap. It's my recap. My producer. So we thank we thank you guys for coming on Beyond the Surface with Sharon. It has been a pleasure to have you both on. Like, you guys have imparted so much information and knowledge. He said AI is the devil. Well, people thought computers was the devil too when computers and microwaves came, but we still throw them chicken wings in there. But you guys have imparted so much wisdom and gave a lot of insight on fatherhood and parenting, and I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all for coming on. This has been, I wanted to bring fatherhood from a perspective of positivity and people who are out here doing it and making it work. And I love y'all for coming on. And thank you for coming.
thank
Jamar,
you.
I am looking forward to your AKA Family Matters. I wanted to, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to give some mentoring programs that I know of. So, do you guys want to mention some that you know of? And in the comments, if anybody has any viewers, if you want to put in the comments any mentoring programs or programs that your kids can go get involved with, who even come from a single house, or their father is not around, or even if the father is around and he's busy, like Josh said, sometimes the dad's busy and he's not available. So what I do know is Vineland has a VAACDC in Vineland. It's called the Vineland African American Community Development Corporation. There is a Mr. Anthony Scott, a Miss Kathy Williamson, and a Mr. Porter. So they have an amazing program over there. If you want to look them up, they are in Vineland. Um, and there's also Out of Bounds with Coop and Dan. There's an Out of Bounds mentoring program that is um, in Vineland. I think they go to Vineland, Bridgeton, Millville. They're in the Cumberland County area. You guys have anyone that you wanna mention? Josh, you do what?
I'll shout out John Fuqua and Life Worth Living.
Mm-hmm.
It's based here in Bristol, but they go all over the place. He's trying a new approach to our youth to interact with them, but it's growing. Our ex-judge, retired Judge Jason Witcher, just joined up with them.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the kids can get a little bit of everything with that program. I know they have, they're in the high schools. They're at the Arm Center also. And they're going to be doing a lot of things this summer throughout the community. So I'll just shout them out because right now they're doing an awful lot. And they're trying to even help someone who, like I said, you just came home.
Yeah.
You're incarcerated. They're trying to, even have programs for you or to get you active.
Okay. Okay. You got something?
No. Yep.
Nothing down in that you know of. So if anybody's in Cape May County, if y'all are in the comments, put the mentoring program or a program that kids in that county can go to, that they can get in touch with, even in Atlantic County. I think there's a couple of people watching in Atlantic County. So Big Brother, Big Sister. Yes, the Big Brother, Big Sister program is all over. And that's a huge program that, connects with kids. And I think that one partners you up with a program with a person that'll be your big brother or your big sister. And they kind of like lead you and guide you. Go ahead, Josh.
Gateway's Success Center.
Mm-hmm.
They have a few success centers throughout the city. Gateway Success Centers, people. Gateway Success Centers. They also have mentoring and youth activities for the kids. Let me see. So, hold up! I gotta say this real fast. Somebody's gonna slap me. Stronger Families. Stronger Families. They're located primarily down at the Arm Center. They have all kind of programs going on down there also.
Bridgeton has a lot going on for the youth.
Stronger Families, yes indeed.
So there's really no excuse in Bridgeton. That's it, right? There's really like no excuse in Bridgeton for. Did you want to say something, Jamar? Oh wait, where your microphone go? I can't hear you.
Can't hear you, bro.
Can't hear you. Where you go? I don't know. Go back out, come back in. I'll let you back in. We'll say. Yeah. So, okay. So thank you, everyone. Thank you guys for participating. And thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh and Jamar, for coming on. On Tuesday, I have a special show on Tuesday. We have an emotional wellness coach coming on. We have Coach Kippy will be here Tuesday, really quick, for a show. So that's June 18th at 6:30. Really quick. Also, we have next Thursday on Beyond the Surface with Sharon, we have Dr. Naomi Hill, and she is a pediatrician, and she is going to talk about childhood anxiety and depression. So I want you guys to tune in to both of those shows. I have a Tuesday one, and we have a Thursday one. I think that is all I have for now. As always, I thank you all for participating in my dream. I'm always honored that people are watching and commenting and communicating and viewing and sharing and liking and all of that. I do not take it lightly. I appreciate all of you and I love all of y'all. Please like, share, subscribe. And I will see you guys back next Tuesday, right? Tuesday, Beyond the Surface, Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to double down. Tuesday, Thursday. Be here, not be square, but be here as we encourage, empower, enlighten, and inform on Beyond the Surface with Sharon. And you pray for me, I'll pray for you. We'll pray for each other. All right. Have a good night. See y'all.